Hey, I'm Stacie. I wanted to talk today about how we can use essential oils throughout every season of our life. And I have a couple tips for sort of each area of our life, each category of our life. But we can use essential oils from infancy all the way up to being an elderly person, even pregnancy. It's a great time to start using some natural options to treat things like morning sickness or fatigue, things like that. So we want to always make sure that we're using the most pure and potent essential oils, and my choice is doTERRA. So when we think about infants, they're tiny little bodies, tiny little cells. Always think less is more. So when we're working with children, babies, we'll say under the age of 1, we want to make sure that we only are using about 1 or 2 drops for the dose. So I love to use roller bottles, and I have blends like these all over my house. This one's not labeled. I know what it is, but for the most part, I label them. I use a mailing label and I hand write what's in it and what it's for. I also have some fun labels. But if we're thinking about an infant who's maybe having some trouble with their stomach, getting those pipes going for the first few months can be hard, and there's bouts of constipation and there's belly aches and there's colicky stuff. And so we can use essential oils to treat some of those things simply by putting it on their little belly. And when we use them for a newborn or a small baby, we want to make sure that we barely use any essential oil and we fill up this bottle with carrier oil. So for an infant who's having a stomach ache, my favorite choice for a baby is wild orange. It is so soothing to tiny tummies. I would put 1 drop of wild orange and fill the rest up with coconut oil and just circle the belly once. You can also use Roman chamomile. Roman chamomile is probably my favorite essential oil for babies. It's so sweet and so calming. So if your baby is having trouble sleeping, just put 1 drop in a glass bottle. This is called a 10 milliliter glass bottle. Fill the rest of it up with coconut oil. Put some on the bottom of his or her feet right before bed or after their evening bath. It's amazing how effective it can be for calming down some of those cranky nights that we have with newborns. So then when we move into toddlerhood and young childhood, we have a lot of boo-boos. We have a lot of scrapes, a lot of owies, things like that. We still might have some trouble sleeping, so we can start to add things like a lavender with the Roman chamomile. Maybe the belly aches are getting a little bit more as they're getting into eating different foods, and so you can start to incorporate the digestive blend into your children's regimen and have those tools right there on hand. Like fennel is a wonderful oil for children's stomach aches. It's also great for increasing breast milk production. So if you're struggling with your baby to get enough milk, fennel is an amazing oil for that, and it's applied directly to the breast. So we can use these essential oils a little bit more as we begin to age and get a little bit bigger. First, for children, all of those little scrapes and boo-boos, my choice would be lavender and tea tree. We're going to clean those scrapes with the tea tree, that antibacterial, beautiful essential oil, and then give a soothing floral on top of that, and it's going to be wonderful. So I have a couple of these around my house now that I have a grandbaby who's walking. There's a lot of boo-boos. And I just spray her little knee, give a couple pumps right to her knee, takes the sting of that fall right out. Plus it's fun, and it's a safe option for them to feel like they're empowered. Every kid loves to have a Band-Aid. So before we put the Band-Aid on, we want to clean that little scrape, and this takes that sting out of it. So I love to have a little boo-boo spray around. You can also use it for insects, spending time outdoors, making sure that our children don't get mosquito bites or we don't get mosquito bites. So having a spray bottle with tools like that are great. So then we're going to move into sort of that preteen kind of moodiness. Essential oils can be powerful in stabilizing some of those emotions that I remember when my kids were little, especially my boys. 1 minute they want to curl up on my lap and cry, and the next minute they're like, hey, leave me alone, Mom, you're so uncool. So there's a lot of ups and downs. So finding something to kind of keep everybody's mood stable in the home is key. So having a diffuser going for those moments in your life, you're going to want to have a diffuser. I love to use Balance Blend when my feelings and my emotions seem to be kind of up and down. So it works really great for 10, 12-year-olds to have a diffuser going. They can kind of choose the oils that they like, that maybe they're drawn to. And it's interesting to watch when people don't really know a lot about the categories of essential oils or how they work with their moods. It's neat to see that when you let them choose themselves, they often choose exactly what they need. So that's really important, to give an option for your children, to have a tool to say, you know, I'm feeling a little bit off. I'm going to go find something that might make me feel better, rather than just trying to resist those emotions. And then when we move into a teenage years, we're going to want a lot of aromatic use, a lot of oils going in the house to stabilize moods and ups and downs. But then we start to have those skin issues that come up during the teenagers, usually related to hormones. So my favorite thing to do for skin impurities, like things that pop up on the face, pimples and whatnot, is I love to make a toner. I do have a nice label for this one. It's my face toning mist. And I use this because of hormone imbalance. It helps to keep my skin really clear and really clean. And inside my toner, I love to use tea tree because it's going to give that astringent quality, and it's going to help break down the impurities on my skin, the oil and all of that. I love geranium. Remember, flowers are going to be excellent for skin. So I love geranium. I love frankincense. I love tea tree. Something that's going to clean it. And there's a couple others that I interchange. Juniper berry is excellent for any sort of pimples. Cedarwood is also a great choice for hormonal acne. So spraying my face twice a day with this, using a cotton ball to wipe off any excess dirt and grime, is an excellent thing for keeping teenagers' skin from having that like overbearing grease that it gets, oily skin. Then when we move into like homework time and study time and the focus that can happen, that needs to happen, that sometimes doesn't always work. So we think about oils like lime, rosemary, things that have shown research to fire neurons in the brain to say, hey, I'm really going to focus and be deliberate here. Peppermint's another great choice for focus. So it's great, again, in the diffuser, study time, online learning time, to have essential oils that have been shown to have great effects with focus. My top 3 for focus are lime, rosemary, basil, and peppermint. That puts me in the zone of staying on task. Then when we get into our adult life, our skin starts to change. We start to show a little bit of wrinkles. Maybe we're struggling with menopause. Maybe we have a teenage girl in the home that's struggling with, you know, the surge of hormones that happens as we enter into womanhood. And so there's oils that we can use to help stabilize that. I love clary sage. Clary sage is across the board a must-have for all women of all ages. It's great for people struggling with hot flashes. It's wonderful for the cycles every month that can be really, really hard, just applying it to our bellies. I like to apply it to my chest. It's beautiful for keeping me stable hormonally. It also comes, there's this blend called Clary Calm, and this is a must. This is designed for women, and it's for all seasons of a woman's life. It comes pre-made, pre-diluted, stainless steel ball. This one I use, again, after a shower or bath. I apply it directly to my chest, to give support to that area of my body, but also to help my hormones kind of stabilize. It's a must-have. If you have a girl in your life, get this. And then as we move into that skin changing, remember, flowers by nature are going to be calming and supporting of the skin. There's plenty of flowers to choose from. Not everybody loves geranium. I get it. It doesn't smell the best. It smells like a geranium. So I have found that for me and my aging skin, I love yarrow palm, and I love to add it in my oil. So this is a beautiful, it's called the anti-aging blend. You can see I'm almost out here. It's an anti-aging blend. It has a lot of frankincense in it, and frankincense is wonderful for supporting skin. This has some florals in it, so it's going to have that calming effect to the skin. And helichrysum is probably one of my favorite skin oils. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, delicate flower. So I take this twice a day, and I apply it directly to the skin underneath and around my eyes. I might give a little here because I frown a lot. And then my neck, as I've aged, it's starting to have that crepey look. So I'm constantly rubbing Immortelle along the crepey skin. So I use that. That's my regimen for aging skin. But then Yarrow Palm, especially the Yarrow Palm serum, this comes in a large bottle. This is a full bottle, and it's diluted. It still comes out a little bit blue. If you have Yarrow, you know it is bright blue. And I take this twice a day and just rub it directly on my neck, and then I swipe up just to remind my skin, hey, it's supposed to be up, not sagging. I love Yarrow Palm. I've noticed that as I have been using Yarrow Palm for about a year in this serum, when I rub it on my neck and then I take the excess and I have it on the backs of my hands, the backs of my hands are actually the little tiny age spots that I was starting to get have gone away, which is really exciting to me. I think no matter how soulful we are, we still have vanity, and we want to make sure that we, maintain some of those wrinkles, keep them where they need to be. So Yarrow Palm's my choice. As we get into the elderly years of our life, we want to go back to sort of the guidelines for children. When we think about using oils for children, we use less than we do for an adult. And I have found in my experience for elderly, it's sort of the same thing. You want to go back to diluting more. You want to use less essential oil, more carrier when we're talking about old skin. Skin on somebody who's moving into the later stage of life is very thin. And so because the oils are so powerful and so potent, we want to make sure that we're using plenty of carrier oil and less essential oil. You're still going to get the benefits, but it's not going to be as potent to their skin. And we want to make sure that we keep the integrity of the skin, especially as we're getting older. And we're moving into the very last stage of life. And we start to forget things, and we start to struggle with our emotions facing death and sort of the unfinished business. We have a lot of anxiety. Most people over the age of 75 have anxiety, and they're wanting to make sure that they have done everything they want to do in their life, and they're also might be facing some serious health issues. So again, going back to that aromatic use, having a diffuser in that person's room and in that space with something calming, something like a lavender and a cedar, Roman chamomile. And you'll see like Roman chamomile, good for babies, calm, great for older people struggling with sleep, struggling with anxiety. It's great for all ages, but Roman chamomile is a special one, I think, when it comes to calming some of the anxieties that we have in life. So we can look at every season of our life, and there are products available through doTERRA specifically for certain age groups. There's an entire skin line that is geared mostly towards people who have a tendency for some impurities like acne, and mostly teenagers struggle with that. So there's a great line there. There's also an anti-aging line for skincare for those of us that are starting that process of aging. There's also a baby line, which I love. They have this beautiful baby wash. It comes in this foam pump. It smells good. And then clean, natural butt cream. It's wonderful to have these tools so you can make your own. You can get your collection and you can start to make remedies for every season of life for the people in your life, or you can just buy the products that are already sort of designed for children or babies. And the children's line is phenomenal. The children's line comes in this beautiful like bag, this beautiful little bag, and has oils in there that are designed for children. This one is my favorite one for children. It's called Calmer, and it's exactly what it says. Creates calm. This one around the bottom of feet, the mustache. I love the smell of this one. I keep it on my desk. This one's mine. My granddaughter has her own bundle. She has the little bag. It comes with flashcards, so she can start to learn. Like, these bottles are tools, and there's a stronger one. There's a brave one, something to bring courage out in your kid as they face new things. There's an immunity one. There's something for growing pains. It's just a beautiful collection. So you can make your own, which is super fun, or you can just purchase some of the pre-packaged age-related product lines. Remember that when you use oils, regardless of your age, you're using pure, the ones that are trusted in hospitals, and not just grabbing them off any shelf at any store. We want to make sure that we're using the best we can because our skin is our largest organ. And what we put on our skin goes into our bloodstream. So just be mindful of that as you're cleaning and putting on lotions with a ton of ingredients. Make sure that you're using something that you know what's in it, and you're going to be healthier all the way around. So enjoy every season of your life using essential oils. It's so fun to watch as we move into different seasons, how different oils become more and more important to us. Thanks, and I will see you soon.